What's up, Tater Tots? It's your girl Tati, back at it for another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about my top 10 black love stories or black romantic movies that I feel like every romantic should watch. So if you're interested in seeing what my top picks are, go ahead and keep on watching this video. Before we get into it, if you like this look, go ahead and check in the eye or go ahead and look in the description box. The link to this look will be down below. Also, I want y'all to stop and comment what movie you think should have made this list. Now, before you keep watching, I need you to comment down below what movie you think, like your top pick to be on this list. And we'll see if it made this list at the end of the video. Okay, now let's get into it. Disclaimer, y'all, this is in no particular order, alphabetical, 1 through 10, none of that. These are just some of my favorite movies that I just wanted to throw out there, and I'm going to tell y'all the movie and why and all those type of things. So we're going to start with my favorite movie of all time. This is my favorite movie. I love this movie, and it is Love Jones. Love Jones is something special, hunty. If you feel like Love Jones is overrated, I am sorry. I'm sorry, but it's just beautiful. The way that it was shot, the cinematography, even the soundtrack is just beautiful. The story, and I think that if you love a good black love story, or you're a hopeless romantic, especially if you're creative hopeless romantic, this movie is perfect for you. And one thing that I really appreciate about this movie, or I like about this movie, is the rawness of it. Like, they're not perfect in any sense. Any relationship in the movie is not perfect. They have their ups and their downs, and you see it all. You see the trials and tribulations that people go through, and it shows you that, you know, like, love is not this happy-go-lucky love story. Like, it gets real, even down to the end, because at the end of the movie, it's not even like a, oh, we're back together, I love you, you love me. It's still like, how are we gonna make this work? Like, what are we gonna do? What's happening with us? And that's an element that I like, because in a lot of movies, you get these crazy ideas in your head, and it makes you think that love is perfect and this is how it's gonna be. And I like those fresh reminders of, you know, it ain't gonna be all good, hunty. Okay? That's why that's one of my favorite movies. And also, you know, I'm gonna put a little history, a little plug. Love Jones is like I won't say it's the first of its kind as far as a black love story. I think that the class that it was of having like this true romantic movie, from the shooting, from the people, it was like the feel of it was the first of its kind. This was before The Wood. This was before, I think it was pretty sure before The Best Man, before all of these other like Love and Basketball, all of these movies came out. It was Love Jones. So I always have to give that movie its roses. I love it. And we're going to go to the next video, because I can talk about Love Jones all day. I said next video. We're going to go on to the next movie. The next movie that I'm going to talk about is Jason's Lyrics. I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It's a movie about a guy named Jason and a girl named Lyric, and they are from the south side of Houston. This movie has a particular place in my heart because I watched it when I was really young, but it's a movie that was filmed in Houston. I don't know a lot of movies, especially black love stories, that were filmed in Houston, and like the story is a southern, but like a Houstonian, a Texas love story. The movie stars Jada Pinkett Smith and Alan Payne. And for the longest, I called Alan Payne Jason's Lyrics because I did not know his name. But they're raised in like the south side of Houston. They both have family members that are like in the streets. And they both have this dream of making it out. And that's where they connect, of being something bigger than just being in the situation that they are in. And they both kind of have these siblings that you could see as being people that hold them back a little bit. And in this movie, they kind of grow, and I'm not gonna give the whole movie away, but they grow, and it's dilemmas, and it's just real life, and it's a great movie for you to see, especially if you like a good hood love story. And I'm just gonna call it like that. Now, granted, I call all my little black movies a good hood like my hood classics I feel like every black person should see type stuff. But this movie I think is different from all the other movies because it isn't, a lot of the other movies have this this professional feel to them. And I think that movie is very hopeful for people who are kind of going through the struggle and are in that situation, and people who love just being reminded of the life that they had kind of when they were younger. Like I grew up, so I grew up in Houston. I grew up, you know, I know a lot of the situations that I had to go through, and to see two people trying to make it out, like it's a difference from like usually with a lot of love stories, especially like hood love stories, one person is still in the streets and the other person is trying to make it out, or something vice versa, or like the girl likes these type of dudes and the boy is trying to be, you know, show her to the right side. But in this, it's like two people trying to do better for themselves. Next on my list is the best man. The Best Man, baby. It is spicy. It is so spicy. And it's almost more of a friendship than a love story, but it still has a love story part in it. But I love it because, again, we have this professional black like love story element, but it has the brotherhood aspect. And a lot of it is shot from a male's perspective. So if you are a man and you love a good love story, or you're a man, you know, you want to watch something with your girl that's not too girly, this is The Best Man is a great movie for that, because it's one of those movies that are shot from a male perspective, and you get a lot of male input into it, and it's really spicy. It's not just your average romantic movie where you have a lot of like, you know, kissing and love scenes and all that. You have like drama, you have like fights and stuff. If you haven't watched the movie, hopefully you have, but if you haven't, it's a lot of action into the movie. And that movie is about a guy who is about to get married, and his best man did some stuff, and he finds out about it, and is going through those days leading up to the wedding. Spicy. If you have not watched The Best Man, you need to watch it. I'm going to say that after each one of these because you need to watch all of these. But yes, The Best Man had to make it. Next on my list is The Wood. Y'all, I love The Wood. The Wood is one of my favorite movies, and I know a lot of people who haven't seen it. It's like, girl, you have to see it. It's painted more as a coming to age story necessarily than a love story, but there's definitely a love story in it. And it's starring two of our faves, Sanaa Lathan and Omar Epps. They have some chemistry, baby. You know, when you see them two together, the movie, the love is going to be fire, okay? You, especially Sanaa, you know when you see her in the movie, the love story is just going to be on and popping. Y'all, I start getting too hyped. But basically, the movie starts off with somebody's wedding day. It's their wedding day, and they're looking for him. And when they go to find him, they go on this like hunt to go find him and get him back to the wedding. And during this time, they're going down memory lane of their childhood and the different scenarios of their like situations that they had. Because the guy, I forgot Omar Epps' name in the movie. I forgot a lot of their names in the movie, but I love the movie, right? So Omar Epps, he moves to Inglewood at like in middle school or whatever. And so, you know, they talk about, it's the story kind of starts there from their childhood, and they talk about like growing up and the different things that they had. They had like little dares of who was going to lose their virginity first. We go over moments of when they lost their virginity, just different love moments in the story, and it's really cute. It's really, and it is funny. It is really funny, and it's another one of those stories that is told from the male's perspective. So it's not like a big romantic, too romantic to where you can't sit down and watch it with your man. Like or if you're a woman, if she doesn't like romantic comedies. It's one of those movies that you can sit down and watch it with the kids, the whole family. You get that romantic element, but it's still a lot of other elements to it. We are at number 5. We're halfway down, and this, baby, I had to give you the queen of the rom-coms, Queen Latifah, baby. I didn't want to put too many of hers on this list because we can go on and on with Queen Latifah, baby. You just need to look at her catalog and go ahead and check off them lists, and any rom-com with her in it is probably going to be good. But the one that I picked was just right. And Just Right is a classic that I think a lot of people love. It has a lot of big hitters. It has Common in it. It has Queen Latifah. It has Pauline Patton. A lot of big people. And it's about a woman who is an athletic trainer, and she's training Common, who is a basketball player. And they fall in love and all of these things. But it's not meant to be necessarily. And so you follow that story of, are they going to get together? Are they not going to get together? All of these different things. And it's a classic love story where it's fun. It has Queen Latifah in it. It's funny. It has character. A good budget. So you're going to enjoy the film. You're going to enjoy the plot. And my camera died, sorry y'all. Now, Just Right is not told from necessarily a male's perspective, so it won't give you that type of thing. It's very much a romantic movie. It's not like The Best Man, or it's not like The Best Man or The Wood in the aspect of like it's a brotherhood. It's like a male aspect going on. It's not as much of a romantic. It has the romantic element, but it's like coming to age and all that. No, this is a romantic comedy. It's a romantic movie. It's still something that you can sit down and watch with your man, but he might be like, if he don't like romantic movies, he might be like, you might want to ease him in with The Wood or The Best Man. You might want to, this one might not be the best, but it's definitely a good love story, and it's definitely gonna give you a good laugh. Keeping on with the funny, baby, because we love a good love story, but we gotta have our laughs, baby. Two Can Play That Game is, you have to watch that movie. It is a great movie. It has Vivica Fox. It has Gabrielle Union. It has, oh God, what is that man's name? Morris Chestnut, baby, with his fun chocolatey self. Ooh, baby, that's already a show. It's about like your man. When your man acting up, Vivica gonna tell you how to get him together, basically. And you follow their story. It is funny. It has ups and downs. Girl, you have the hoochie mama trying to steal old man type stuff. You have your man acting up. You got your girlfriend acting up. You got your friends over here being messy. It's just a great laugh and a good story. And I think that it has a really good message with Two Can Play That Game, because it shows you what happens when you play too many games or you try to be a player, This insight is like, girl, love that man, or boy, love that man, do the right thing, because you're going to be sick without them type stuff. But it's still funny. It's still showing you how we play the game. And it shows us, honestly, I think that especially if you're a woman like me, or you're a man who considers themselves a player, or you're a woman like me who knows kind of how to handle people or like analyze people, and people come to you for advice, it kind of shows you on the screen of like how you act. You be like, girl, okay, I might need to calm down a little bit, or how your plan could backfire. It's not always the best plan, but I love it. I love that movie. It's definitely a good movie to watch, and that is a movie that, it's definitely a romantic movie, but baby, you can watch it with your man. It's funny. It's told, you see both sides of the perspective, and I think that you would have a good conversation afterwards. That's a good conversation to talk to your man about it. And after that, we go to 7, which is Deliver Us from Evil, baby. If you haven't seen Deliver Us from Evil, you need to watch it. It has it stars Gabrielle Union, LL Cool J, some more big names. I think Megan Good is in it as well. And basically, Gabrielle Union is the older sister. She is Eva. When their parents died, I believe, she had to step up and take care of her siblings. And she is just this mean baby. Eva does not play with nobody. That's why they're trying to get delivered. So it's LL Cool J's job to deliver us from Eva, to just free us. And you get to see their budding romance and all the beautiful elements, and it has a twist in it. Just a lot of craziness going on. You will definitely have you a good laugh, and you will definitely enjoy. It's definitely a romantic movie that kind of changes things. Kenya, I think Moore is in it too. She has a cameo in it, and it's just another one of those classics. And I think that it shows, it's an exaggeration, but some of us can get caught up in our work, and some of us can get caught up in life and just uptight, baby. Some of us, I can say it. And it just shows you on screen of like just the funniness of how it happens. It just gives you a little bit of hope of falling in love. And it's just a great movie, y'all. I need to stop saying it's a great movie. I've told y'all the reasons why these are great movies. They give you different elements. They're funny. They have these different people in them. They give you a relatable black story. And I think that Eva's story is very relatable, especially being the older sibling. I am a middle child, so I'm in between. I have older sisters that I can lean on, and I have younger siblings that lean on me. But when you're the oldest or the most responsible, because some siblings are not the oldest, but they're the most responsible, so they seem like they're oldest. When you're that sibling, you don't really have a lot of people to rely on, and it can make you bitter because it's almost like you a single mother of kids that you didn't even raise, baby. You have all these childhood dreams that you ain't even get to do because you was already busy raising a family. And to see that woman find love, even if it's in the weirdest way, it's still great to like have that hope. And I think that Eva is a very exaggerated but relatable character. After Eva, we're gonna go back to the hood love stories, baby, because all of these before Jackson lyrics are love stories where we have black professionals. I love a good black professional story where you can see yourself. I had to shout out those, but we're gonna go back to our roots. We're gonna go back to our hood classics that do what they need to do, that a lot of us can relate to, and that's just, baby, have some heavy hitters. We got Regina King, we got the Janet Jackson, the Miss Janet Jackson, we got the Tupac Shakur, baby. We got all of them in the movie I'm talking about. If you haven't realized already, it's Poetic Justice. Poetic Justice is a classic. It is a classic. And it gives you a rich story. It's not all about love. The different characters have all their different problems. It shows you parallels because on one end with I cannot remember Jenna's character name, but Jenna and Lucky, because I can't remember Tupac. With them two, they're dynamic and just being a little bit more mature. Her rubbing off on him, like him rubbing off on her, and him being a father, like they're dynamic, him being a little bit more serious and want to build his life versus Regina King's character with the other dude, where it's like, y'all really ain't meant for each other, y'all kind of toxic type stuff. You get different elements of the friendship. You get classic like black references, and it just gets really real, I think. And it's a real raw story that we all can relate to in some way. Even if you are a professional, if you came from a certain background, you can still relate to this story. And something that 90s movies captured really well, and love stories pre-Love Jones, or that are opposite from Love Jones, that have these stories of kind of like making it out, or these stories of being in the hood. I think while I love me a good professional, well-off, accomplished pair of lovers, or a pair for a love story, the story or the trials and tribulations that you go through trying to have a love life in a certain environment, especially being from an impoverished neighborhood, is still an important story to be told, because those children still deserve love. Those children still deserve to know that there is more. And at 17 or 15, when some people are watching these movies, yeah, you could dream of being Love Jones, but Love Jones may not be a reality. Something more of like a Jason's Lyrics or a Poetic Justice is more of your reality that you can relate to more, and that you could see for yourself at that moment. And it applies to you because you still feel that. You know, it's still a story that you can appreciate, because you, like I said, they still deserve that love. And that's why, I have to, don't minimize like those type of love stories. Even though I got two, they're still very important. And Love Jones is important in that sense, because we don't have a lot of romantic. Like, this is a romantic movie. Yes, it has funny elements, it has all of that, but that poetic justice is love. And Black people of all shapes, forms, rich, poor, all of those, they deserve to see that representation on screen of love. Next, I have Love and Basketball. And I know y'all thought I was going to forget it. I almost did. Let me tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll give this disclaimer. I love The Wood. I already told y'all that it was already like number 3. The Wood is one of my favorite movies. And The Wood and Love and Basketball are both Sanaa Lathan and Omar Epps. And I just prefer The Wood over Love and Basketball when it comes to that duo. Okay? I'ma say it. But Love and Basketball, regardless, is a classic. It is... Everybody knows Love and Basketball, baby. That's a classic, just love story that all of us can relate to, whether you like basketball or not. Everybody wanted the love and basketball relationship. I'll play you for your heart, baby. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it, baby, because too many people. That is a movie that you should have been watched. It shouldn't even have to be on this list because you should have been watched it. But we're gonna put it out here, okay? And we're going to go to the last of the 10. And this movie is on here because it's romantic, but kind of not romantic, but not in the other ways. You know how I said the other movies is like brotherhood or this or that, you know, a little funny. This movie kind of is a little funny, but it has a good story. So the last romantic movie I'm going to put on here is A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. And I'm going to put a thin line between love and hate because it is a romantic story. It does follow a romantic plot. And yes, it goes downhill, but it has a great lesson that some people still do not learn. So I'm going to reiterate the lesson here that Martin Lawrence was telling you. So that movie has Martin Lawrence, Lynn Whitfield, Regina King, Bobby Brown, Melinda Williams, who was also in a lot of these good movies too. It just has so many people in there. It was a big movie. And the premise of the movie, or the point of the movie, is to not play with love. There's a thin line between love and hate. And when you tread that line and you're trying to be a player, baby, something's going to eventually happen to you. And we do have a story like that with Two Can Play That Game, where it's like a lighter version, more playful version, but a thin line between love and hate is really important, and I think that everybody should watch because it gives you that do not play with love. And that literally is the premise of the movie. A lot of people, because I think Lynn Whitfield's character name was Brandy, a lot of people think that she was crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, she did have some issues, but she was supposed to be crazy. To show you, it was supposed to be an exaggeration to show you not to play with love. This is what happened. You could run into this type of person. And even in the movie, when Martin Lawrence is talking in the beginning, to the end, how he barely survived, the whole thing that he is trying to tell you is to stop playing with love. There is not a problem with dating casually. There is not a problem with falling out of love with someone. There are different things that can happen, but when you are portraying yourself to be a certain type of man that you are not, or when you're trying to act like you want this certain relationship with somebody that you don't, baby, you're gonna get burned. You're gonna get burned. So stop it. It's a great story, a great movie to watch with your kids, your son, to show him to stop playing with these girls, your daughter to show her men are crazy too, so stop playing with these guys. It's a great conversation starter. Let me tell you something. Put on A Thin Line Between Love and Hate and see how he act, how he respond, or she respond. And now tell you a lot about a person. It's a great conversation. It's a great conversation started to me, like after you watch the movie, to just talk about, your situation, whatever, to watch with your man. It's still a good story. It might be a little sensitive. It might cause some problems. It depends on the type of man that you have. But nonetheless, I had to put that in there because it's also important to all of the love that, how I told y'all, I like realness. I like all of those type of things where you have that real element, and that had that real element of, baby, you play with the wrong person and people real life out here crazy. So those are my top 10 movies that I think that everybody who is into a good black love story should watch. An honorable mention is The Photograph, which is where this makeup look, or my inspiration for like a chocolate city chocolatey look, came from. And it actually inspired this video because The Photograph comes out on February 14th. This video is coming out, so it's going to come out tomorrow, the day after this video is posted. Make sure you go watch that movie because it is another black love story that is just great. And yes, we have had black love stories before then. I just named you 10, so let's not act like we don't have any. Even a lot of these are like early 2000s, 90s because that's my preference. But even if, like, girl, Beyond the Lights, baby, Think Like a Man, we have some good ones. It's Queen and Slim. So make sure you go watch those two. Those are shout outs. But make sure you watch. Go out and watch The Photograph too. I'm gonna go watch too, y'all. We gonna talk about it. Go follow me on my social media so we can talk about, like, you know, how we feel about the movie and everything. I would love to see how y'all feel. I would love to also know, how did y'all feel about this video? Do y'all like my sit down chit chats versus having the chit chat get ready with me? Like, do y'all like when I just regularly talk? Go ahead, let me go. No. Now that we're at the end of the video, if there is a movie that I did not have on this list that you think belongs on this list, comment down below and tell me, what movie am I missing? These are my 10, but I know that there are just so many movies that there has to be one I'm missing, so let me know. Also, make sure you share this video so other people can see this video and we can gain more people into this potato family, and we can continue this conversation. And last but not least, you know what you gotta do if you haven't already. You know what it is, right? Oh, wait. Oh, my stuff fell. Anyways, you know what you gotta do, right? You gotta subscribe to my channel so you can grow with your girl. So you can grow with your girl. So you can grow with your girl. So you can grow. Alright, y'all. Let's pray that this did not work. And she's good. God loves me. Peace out. 2 o'clock in the morning, by the way.